Rouse, where growth is intentional and impact is inevitable. So we ask that you don't just watch, engage with us. Don't just listen, but learn with us. And don't just sit back. Come take a seat at the table. We are just getting started. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Broadcasting Results with Rouse. I am ecstatic tonight. We have someone that is an author, an entrepreneur, and yet a community advocate out there grinding and shining every day. And we go way, way, way back. Tonight, you all, I would like to welcome Dr. Justin Beaufort. Thank you for being with us tonight, sir. Oh man, I feel like this is Student Center Morris College all over again. We just reliving it all over again. But before we kind of jump in, if you would, I want us so people kind of know Justin, right? Down there, Chucktown, as you all call it. Tell us before college, before all of this, like, who are you off cameras?
Um, Justin is he's just a chill dude. You don't want to bother nobody. Um, he's ambitious. He likes to do what he wants to do. Sometimes the way that he wants to do it, and uh, I believe that he's a leader. I believe that he's a good father, and yeah, just a man of many hats who just play a role, a third party role in a lot of things. You know,
I'll take that because I was waiting for you to say not say many hats because I was going to say he's definitely a guy that wears many many hats. But if you all are just tuning in, I ask that you all reshare and tag his page. That is at JB Beaufort on Facebook. You all so he can see that you are tuning in tonight. And if you have any questions, want to give some feedbacks to him as we go through the conversation, please be sure to drop it in the comments. So you talk about a man of many hats, and that I could definitely agree of you. A great father, and just coming up through what you call Berkeley, what y'all Dorchester, Charleston County. There's a lot of navigating that we tend to see, and sometimes the media tend to build a narrative that is not always favorable, right? Could we agree to that? And
uh-huh.
just even myself here in the rural area where the narrative is sometimes we don't always have. And so when we intertwine with those things and think about our upcoming, our how it was to where we are now, you and I linked up, I would have to say many years ago in Sumter, South Carolina, as we
hmm
were scrolling through a gate and probably not even sure what this was really going to be at the end of the day. And it was college.
hmm
And I'm sure before that time, we both can agree that it was probably a little uncertainty about whether we would navigate it, how that would look like. For me, being a first generation coming into college, so I really didn't have much of a clue. I just knew it was something I wanted to do. And so, if you would, there are some young men, yet could be young ladies out there that will be going off to college and would probably be experiencing some of the same things that you and I have experienced. But
hmm
many will go to college and without really knowing their purpose. What can you talk a little bit about what that college experience was like for you and how and what was that defining moment while you were
hmm
there?
Um, well, I can't say that I'm a first generation kid to go to college. Um, my dad, after he got out of jail, he went to college to study welding.
Okay.
So he got an associate's degree or a trade or something like that inside that, you know. But I just feel that colleges, and this is what my father told me. college is necessary. Yes, you're going to learn what you need to learn inside class and stuff like that, but it's the experience of just meeting different people from different backgrounds. They see the world a different way,
Mhm.
and you trying to kind of compare it. When I got the Morris, I was 17 years old, so I'm trying to compare it to the 17-year-old kid from Charleston to a 17 or 18-year-old kid from Greeleyville, South Carolina, like, or King Street, South Carolina. So it was just different. And I found that we had commonalities, and I found out that we were different in some ways as well. And it just was something that just kind of uh, taught me a lot and let me know what things that I were doing, was it working, or is this the way that the world works, or this ain't the way that the world works. Like, hey, like Justin, you tripping, So, yeah, that's what I felt like I took from the college experience.
Yeah, so you're saying that, and I'm sitting here kind of chuckling to myself because you talked about two things: experiencing meeting people, and I could just recall sometimes those moments are either leaving out of the student center, and you know Justin's voice when you hear it because he's probably on campus saying "Yo," you know it like he's saying something that resonated, right? And when you talk about the different experiences coming from where you are to where other people are, I mean, I remember the times we had a lot of people that came up from up north, um,
Hmm.
Jersey, New York. Like that was a big thing. I would say during
Hmm.
our time. I mean, came from other areas, but just the fact that they came like hours away to
Hmm.
come to Morris College right here in South Carolina, and we are
Hmm.
here in South Carolina. To me, when we talk about meeting people, like we would probably never would have had those experiences had we not gone to college. And
Hmm.
the one thing I loved about just the experience, even under the leadership of Dr. Richardson, the motto itself is into to learn and to part to serve. And I could truly say
Hmm.
just over the years with yourself, you've definitely done that. You came in, you've learned the experience, you got involved. I mean, you connected. You say a lot of people you met, but you connected a lot of people,
Hmm.
believe it or not. And I say kudos to you for just being yourself. And we're going to talk about just that piece a little later. But um, that defining moment, like you say, truly made a difference to a lot of people. And I'm hopeful that it would also do the same to a lot of our young people that will be going off to college. Find those moments. While you do want to learn in the classroom, that's should be one of your priorities. But making those connections, because long term, it would be very, very beneficial. But we also know in college, there are challenges, right? There are things that we face sometimes that people may not necessarily know. And so I'll ask you, Justin, if there's a college student, even someone that may enter the work experience, or the work journey, I should say, or military, if they are faced with a challenge, how what would you say to encourage them through your experiences that you might have had throughout life, whether that was in college before and or after, that you would encourage them to know how to balance that?
Um, that's a good question. Uh, so I went to school for like psychology, which, if you knew me, was kind of like very like unlike me to continue education. But in the midst of doing that, like, I understood that because of choices that I made prior, I understood that, hey, listen, you got to do this. So, I ran into some writings by this guy named Alfred Adler. He's like he's one of those theoretical. He has theoretical framework that a lot of people build off when psychology started, and something that he believed in is like the self, so like everything is like on you. So my advice is to, hey, you got to make it happen yourself. You got to make it happen yourself. Like, and it's not even, I used to think like, oh no, this person don't help me. This person ain't help me. Other people got problems too. It don't, and just because they are at a higher level or whatever than you, doesn't mean that they don't have like problems. Like there's people who are asking you for money or asking you for this or that on the level that you're on. And it's happening to whoever that person may be asking as well. So I just feel like they should just figure it out. Like you just got to learn how to figure it out. Like this world right here is going to get even more crueler, and you got to have tough skin. You just got to learn how to figure it out, and don't burn bridges in the process of that. Uh, you just got to figure it out.
Navigate life, right?
Uh-huh.
I would also just add to that, as you were talking about meeting people and just the experience, that is just another way. Sometimes you're going to be faced with challenges, but just being able to network while you're on campus, build that center of experience, where there are events going on or just organization that you can definitely get involved in. I would definitely encourage our young people to do so. And even if you're not going to college, but maybe military or just going straight into the workforce, same concept. Try to build that networking of people that you could, relate to or be relatable to. But something you said is self. And so I want to
Mhm.
segue into Justin's self.
Mhm.
Couple of years ago, you all, Justin, what I consider was on this journey, and I don't feel like he's done yet. I know he's not. Um, but I want him to talk about his journey as he thought enough of himself to become an author.
Mhm.
And why be yourself? What was that
Um,
concept?
hey, let me tell you, like, it's not no long drawn out answer. um, I was in school. I was broke. I ain't trying to sell drugs, So hey, you got to figure out how to do something, Like I said, figure it out. And something that I knew that I was good at was I was not afraid to go talk to somebody. So if I'm selling something of myself, like I'm not no author who writing stories. What's the guy name? I forgot his name or whatever. Who write all of these books? Goosebumps, and I'm not that type of guy. That type of author. I wrote a book about myself because that's something that I knew that I can get in depth about, and that I knew that I would be confident in the process of selling. And
Hmm.
I knew that I would tell stories that other people probably may be uncomfortable telling because it happened to them. But, like I felt like my dad raised me to understand that these things happen to everybody. Like, hey, you got cheated on. It happens. Like, so um things like that I wasn't afraid to share inside the book. So getting in depth about certain things in my process of navigating it was nothing. And then when I got the actual product inside my hand for me to sell, I was like up every day. Like I'm up every day inside Colorado slinging books. Like, hey, I just a kid from Charleston, South Carolina. I go into class. Hey, do you want to buy my book? And that's how it was.
Appreciate that. And so, what was that? I would say that leap, that instead of you, had it in your head, and some moments we may have to say, not certain, not sure. But what was that moment that you felt like I'm ready to do this?
The actual writing of the book
Yeah.
part.
Yes.
Man, I think I thought of that walking down Glenarm Street. 1600 Glenarm is where I used to stay at, Denver, Colorado. So I was walking down the street from class and I already was thinking about like, hey, I need to figure out how to get me some money while I over here. And and I walk in and I walk and I'm like, and I was thinking about fast money, but I'm like, no, I need to think of something that is going to have some kind of longevity to
Mhm.
it. And I wasn't thinking about the other things that I did with it after that. at that moment. I was just thinking, I was just walking down the street and I said, I'm gonna write a book. I think that everybody will buy it. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's me. Like, they'll never expect me to write a book. So I think I was excited about the process, and I was excited about the thought that if you knew me, you'd be like, we ain't writing no book. Like, you know what I mean? I think I was excited about that, and that's what kind of like, pushed me.
So you mentioned Colorado, and of course you being from Charleston, South Carolina. Can you share to the viewers, if you don't mind, at the time of Colorado, what was that journey? What was you doing during that time?
Okay, so that whole process had happened quick. Like, cause I had caught a gun charge a little while earlier, right? So um when I caught the charge, like I was still going through the little legal processes or whatever. But I graduated from Morris, and I knew that I couldn't come back to Charleston at that time. Like so, I went to. I was like, I gotta get me a. I gotta get. I gotta do something. So I was like, I gotta go back to school or something. But I didn't know what I was going to go back to school for. Like what I'm going to school for. Like, and on top of that, like I didn't have the GPA to get into a master's program. Like, like I graduated with like a 2.7 or something like that. And but the only other way that you could have get in is if you have passed like one of the two type of tests
Mm.
that they give you. And I was like, okay, I'll take the Miller analogy test. I didn't study for it. I just was just thinking that okay, I know the world enough to understand the difference between things. And I took the test and I passed by 1 point.
Mm.
I passed by 1 point and they accept me. Um and I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. So I had some frat brothers who were uh, at State and Claflin, and well, Voorhees and Claflin, and they were already living down there, and like I was like, hey, I need to come down here. I went to summer school. I'm trying to come back to Charleston. After I graduated, I went to summer school, and I ended up finishing in 3 semesters. So I graduated that December. So when my advisor was telling me like, hey, you about to finish? You can finish if you want to. I was like, just try to finish, And then I thought about it. I was like, hey, you only like a year and a half removed, like 2 years removed from, you know what I mean, this charge, like or like just dealing with the legalities of that situation. And I was like, man, like this too quick. Like it had went by so quick. I was like, I still can't go back. And
Mm.
I can't even remember my advisor name. You know what I mean? My advisor was well, you can go back to school again or whatever. I was like, man, I'm trying to stay in Orangeburg no more. So just basically set up this little dual course where I could either go into Southern Illinois university. I could have gone to Southern Illinois University as well. So I ended up going to doctorate school, and it allowed me to go to class, and I could have set my schedule when I could have come home and I could just do my classes. It wasn't no full blown online internet like how I mean online school like how it is now. Like, I had to actually like go there. Like, so for classes and stuff like that. So I ended up doing that, and I felt like those times being out there just had put me inside a different mind frame. I didn't know nobody, couldn't ask nobody for this or that. Like it was another situation of just trying to figure it out. Like, and yeah, like that's how I just stumbled upon that. That's why I always tell kids like I'm no smarter than you. Like actually like just ask. I'm no smarter than you. Like, you know what I mean? Because like I just didn't have a problem going to class. Is I didn't have a problem. I'll go. Now whether I pay attention or not, like, you know what I mean? But I'm a go. Like, so my parents taught me to go. I was never really a skip the class, skip school type of kid. Like, I'm going to class. On top of that, that's where the girls was at. Like, like, yeah, they daddies telling them be a doctor, be a lawyer. That's where they at. Like, you be around a bunch of guys if you skipping. So yeah.
And I appreciate that because I posed that question because I wanted the viewers, especially our young people, to kind of understand your journey, right? And
Hmm.
while one hiccup, I should say, might have deter you, it didn't stop you. And even doing that experience, it still allow you to not just get one, but actually two schooling, if I should say it that way, under you that you probably wouldn't have never really thought to say,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
want to do, right? Um,
Hmm.
and so sometimes we don't know where life journey is going to lead us, or sometimes forces us in those uncomfortable experiences to yet at the end of the day, I'm like, wow, I feel all right about myself because I was able not to knock out one, but yet two in no time, right? Because somebody else
Hmm.
probably would have been doing it much longer. But then look at just as you say too, and I go back to the point when you talk about just the journey of college and coming in while we go to class, just talk about the experience and meeting people. And
Hmm.
you and I both being able to be on Mars College campus and join different organizations to the best, I should say, out there to the world. Uh,
Hmm.
but while on campus, you've met people, you've built that network, and leaving here, you stumble upon to say, "Hey, I can't go back this way right now, so I got to make my mind up and do something." And
Hmm.
so, look where it got you. And so, that's just encouragement to all of us. While one thing may delay us, it don't necessarily define us in that moment. We just got to keep going. Um,
Hmm.
so we talked a little bit about Justin coming from
Hmm.
Chucktown, as most of you all know it.
Hmm.
We talked about being yourself and what that was for him, and just the background a little bit about his book, and yet how he stumbled upon to be not just Justin, he's actually Dr. Bruford. Um,
Hmm.
but outside of that, I did mention early on that he is a big community person down there in Charleston. And so it leads me to the segment of the high star entertainment. Um,
Hmm.
because there's a big thing coming up this weekend. And so I
Hmm.
want you to take time to tell everyone about this upcoming event, what inspired this event, and just who all could attend.
Okay. Well, it's our annual alumni weekend. This is year 15. Um, it kind of just sped by all of this time. Like, it literally happened. Like, some of the best ideas just come from just chilling. Like, we were just on the porch, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna do a alumni." I just busted out and said, "I'm gonna do an alumni basketball game between Burke and North Charleston." And I pitched it to a few big wigs inside the city, like politically. And when I did, there was like, yeah, like people do that all the time or whatever, but it's not. I was like, no, no, y'all ain't understanding. I
Mm,
don't know what y'all like. I'm about to do this, and I need your help. I need some money. And I always remember the end that sponsored me. Like, and that gym was sold out on the
mm,
first event. And it it just kind of started. It was just one game too. It was just one game the first year.
wow.
And I was just walking down, and North Charleston High School holds 1687 now. Like, yeah, 1600 plus. But that's all I knew. I was walking down the sideline, and uh, this girl from down here, she played for Burke. She played for Burke High School, and she played against. a lady that you know named Nadia Taylor, you
Absolutely.
know, and me knowing that, like, Brittany was like, "Hey, we playing next year inside this right here," and you already know Nadia down, like,
Oh
so, which both of them are playing this weekend too, which is funny. So that the second year we added the girls game. I had another homeboy who had said that another rivalry, they wanted to have another rivalry, and it just kind of like took off after that. Like, and it got to the point where I was doing Friday and Saturday, but it was just like too much. Like, it just was like too much on me. Because it's just one game playing at a time.
yeah.
And a lot of people were like upset that it was they probably didn't get as much play time as they wanted or something like that. And this event only happens one time a year, so I was like, okay, how can I recreate myself? So in the 11th year, I made it into a tournament because it kind of got old playing the same school every
Mhm.
year. Yeah, the gym pack and all of that stuff, but it kind of got old, So now we do a draft. We put everybody name in a basket, shake that basket up, and now you play double elimination. So everyone is still playing against people that they played against. And if you run into your rival, you run into your rival. But if you don't, there are other good schools out there who produce good players as well. So um, for example, like North Charleston has made it. I went to North Charleston. North Charleston has made it to the championship, but we lost in the championship to Goose Creek High School the last 2 years. You
Mm.
know, because it also reminds you of like a AAU weekend because you got to play several games in order to win, and the winning team gets money.
Mm.
So it's just a big thing. You got everyone wearing old jerseys, they shirts is like like a family reunion.
Thank you for sharing that. So I do want to go back because I want people to know a little bit more. So I'm going to ask a couple of more questions, that, particularly for this. But I want to go back to the first point you mentioned. When you thought about it, you kind of spent it off to some what is considered big wigs. Like, hey, and sometimes they don't get it, or politically thinking they don't want to get it. Um, And so, from what I hear from you, is they didn't go with it, like they didn't sponsor, right? But you
Mm-hmm.
did say that this is year 15.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I say that to say that, sometimes when being presented with something, everybody may not get on board, but you got to be yourself, as you've mentioned, and yet continue to um, surround yourself with the people that is going to help you get where you are. And yet 15 years later, you're still doing it. So that says a lot about yourself and the people that has continued to support you. But
Mm-hmm.
if there's someone out there that it just so happened to hear about this event for the first time, and or might have just been straddling on the fence about rather I should get on board, and decide to tonight, how could they, sponsor or help support this event? In what ways are you asking?
Well, at this point, like if you sponsor the event, we just going to add more money to the winning team, to the winning team's pot. Um, Everyone is inside place. Uh, Players rosters are in. People are ready to play. But and at the same time, we do several initiatives like throughout the weekend, and there's also strives that I also want to get to, but I know that it's a process in making people buy in into what you're like really really trying to accomplish, and like I feel like I'm 50 years behind where I really want this event to be, because I really want this to be a statewide thing. Like it's played inside your city or your towns, and then the teams that come out of it meet at USC. Now you got that team coming from out of King Street or that Greeleyville area. That team coming from out of only one school can come out of Charleston. One school can come out of Berkeley. Every county has that one school that's represented, and everyone goes to USC for a weekend. And I think that that brings out everybody. Like it's all about that family reunion feel. Um, so like basically, funds can help us, pay for the things that we have to pay in order to operate the event as well, like referees. We don't get the building for free. We don't get the building for free. The building is thousands of dollars for the weekend. Um, yeah, police officers it's definitely an event it takes like $20,000 just to replicate, and I don't think that sometimes like people be understanding that, and yeah. So if you got somebody to help me with that $20,000, like, I'll definitely appreciate it. And the where it goes back, and this is where it goes back and it allows me to grow the other programs that I have. So this is called High Star. I do like other events like daddy daughter dances, mother son dances, and all. I do that under High Star Entertainment, or if I'm throwing like parties or something like that. Basketball events are called High Star Hoops, so that's the High Star Hoops portion of things. So I have a travel basketball organization, so we have several teams in our organization. Now, first off, this allows me to say, hey, coach, hey, here $500 to all y'all teams to do XYZ. Um, uh, and that's just for whatever that what tournaments and fees that they want to join or whatever the case may be. Now I can say, okay, I can pay for the rental cars that can help take care of this. Now I can say, uh, we can put some money towards having a year worth of practice time inside one of the gyms. It just allows you just to do whatever you need to do at that moment or whatever you feel is best for your company in order for your company to continue to grow the way that you wanted to grow. Like, so like definitely like any funds that are donated is definitely appreciated.
Thank you. And you did mention that you would allow or want to see this grow to a statewide event,
Mhm.
and make it feel more like a family reunion. So I'm going to take it that this event, in regards to who can attend, is that both youth and adults.
Oh yes, yes, definitely. Both youth and adults. And let me tell you what we do at the same time. So the place where we play the event at is called the North Charleston Athletic Center. They have four huge basketball courts inside the facility, right? So on court one, you might have, Burke versus North Charleston. But on court two, you might have two seventh grade teams playing in an
Mm,
AAU tournament. So my mind, I am subliminally making the kids watch high level basketball. In between your game, now you're watching some adults play who are really good. Like, and it'll probably humble you to see how good this this adult is, and you can't guard him and he can guard you.
mm,
So or I like that move that he just did. I need to ask him about that, or whatever might come from what that kid might be thinking as he watches. So it's a day full of games where that can happen. You can have kids playing on court one, but you might have some adults playing on court two, some more kids playing on court three, and some more adults playing on court four.
okay. Um, so, in regards to the fee for this event, is it online registration or can people pay at the door? And if so, what is the fee for this event?
So, okay, you can pay at the door. So we have wristbands that you pay for the door because they're different colors for different things. The event is $20. It's an all day event. Games begin at 9 in the morning. Last game begins at 9 at night. Um, it is just a vibe. It's just a vibe. Like you don't have to leave once you get there. Like the facility is so big, so many games going on. Um, yeah, and kids they're half off, and five and under free, senior citizens free. Um, Yeah, and if you wear some be yourself clothes, you already know you good with me. You free, like that. Let me know. That let me know that you support me. So I'm gonna let you in for free too.
So $20 for adults. You say something about half price. Who? What's that fee and
Kids,
for who?
for kids, $10.
Is that a certain age?
Like, uh, basically like 16, 15 down. They kind of gauge, like like our door people.
Okay.
They kind of gauge it. They know.
Okay. And be yourself clothing. Where
Uh-huh.
could people shop to get some of those items?
Okay, so I'm changing my address on my website because I'm just doing some different updates. I don't just like that style anymore. But it's called beyourselfthebrand.com. But you can follow me on Be Yourself on Facebook, Be Yourself the Brand on Facebook, on Instagram. My personal page is High Star ENT on Instagram. My Facebook is JB Beaufort. Um, yeah, I got Snap and TikTok too. Um, High Star ENT. Like I'm really not that good at social media. Like like I just learned how to schedule. Like schedule stuff a little while ago or whatever. So you can't tell me nothing. I feel like I'm on the road.
You're doing it now.
Uh,
Oh, man, listen. So I would have to say first, I am excited yet to see
mhm,
that you are still doing what I've met you doing, even
mhm,
navigating this journey called life through college and even afterwards. So I just applaud you for
mhm,
keeping up and just doing some great things out there and just identifying to just be yourself, right?
mhm.
Um so I would shout out to the Mars College family for those that may be watching and or would tune in. If you have not yet, and this is to include myself, support it, whether that was in person and or if you can just donate to Justin by way of any of those platforms. I can let him give those out that he may have, but you know, Mars College, like I said, if it didn't do anything else for the time that I was there and then just the circle of people that we were able to navigate with, it did allow us to meet people, as he said early on. It did provide us an experience to learn more about one another and yet to see some of the great works that he is still doing. So I do extend the offer to you all. If you could, in any way, this is year 15 for him. If you could, even if it's just a simple $15 for it being year 15, to send it to him, whether that's via Cash App, Apple Pay, or whatever he may have, is year 15. And I know we had more than 100 people on campus at that time. And so if all of us just sent $15 to him in less than the next 24 hours, just imagine what extent of effort that he can do for this upcoming weekend. So I'm putting that challenge out there to you all. If you know somebody that knows somebody that didn't even go but would love to pour back into what he's doing, I am encouraging you to do so. And if you can't make it, please just still extend your well wishes to him. But I also want him to share, Justin, if you would just tell us what are the platforms or payments that you have that people could send.
Um, you can just go on our page, highstarhoops.com, and you can donate on our page, highstarhoops.com. And yeah, when they go there, they'll go to the account and we can take care of whatever we can take care. So
Thank
yeah, like definitely.
Thank you for that. So you all, when we get off of this, I am going to reshare this live, and what I would do is put in the caps or in the post. Um, again, I am going to extend it to our family, the Mars College family. If I can get 100 of you all, you can do more than 15. So I'm not limiting you, but I feel like if we could do just $15 to help support him, as he said, it's going to be High Star Hoops. I'll put all that information into you, and we want to pour back into the work that he's doing because I know if I call on him to pour back into something that someone else is doing, if he can, he will. And that's all about being yourself. And so I do want to give you a moment because you do these motivation speeches, and I love them. You're coming from around the corner and you're saying something different. I thought you all for a long time that he was going to turn out and be a, because Charleston has a way of creating some artists down there. So I thought for sure before I saw the book that he was going to be coming out with some type of music, but we ain't get there yet.
hmm
Maybe. But if you would just kind of close us out with anything as it relates to that motivation spill that you do coming from around the corner.
Um, so
Tough
I
you
did
put me on the spot
I
for
did I did one today.
that.
So you know what? Like I don't have a therapist. You know, I talk to myself. You know, or I'll say how I feel out loud, and just like inside the book, like other people may feel like that too. So I just make it rhyme. I have fun with that challenge, and yeah, I just say what's on, and every week it might be something different. I'm only telling you what had happened to me last week or how I felt about last week. You know, um, yeah, that's all I'm telling you is how I felt last week or how I probably felt that day. You know, so yeah, it's very versatile. Like I don't know until I have to do it. Like like, and there's a lot of things that make me mad that I necessarily don't say out loud. Like I keep it internal, but that's my way to speak. You
Mm.
know, that's my way to speak and still, So I ain't talking to the whole world. My therapist.
Well,
Mhm.
thank you for that. Is there anything else that you want to share in regards to this weekend coming up that you want people to know about?
Um, man, hey, listen, man. If you like basketball, pop out. Everybody's here. Scam like everybody's here. Like everybody come in town for this event. If you don't pull up for this event for your school, you whack. Like and it's just a lot of thousands of people come down. Like it used to be 1,600, but there's thousands of people come now. Like because basically every school is involved. Like we went from two schools, now you got 30.
Mm.
Like so like everybody, how they say outside. Like so yeah, like that's what it is. It's at the North Charleston Athletic Center Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Games begin at 7 o'clock on Friday. I'll post the bracket on this live page right here so people can see the times or schools that they're familiar with, and we can just go from there.
So hold
But
on, is Nana going to be there messing with the
oh,
people?
yeah, my boy gonna be there.
All
Nana gonna be
right.
there.
So
Hey,
listen, that's
listen,
San
hey, hey, that,
Antonio right there now. So if Nana gonna be there, y'all got to get there.
yeah,
That's a plus.
hey, hey, I got one for you tomorrow.
Okay.
I got something for you tomorrow. Okay.
All right, y'all. Nana, again, out of that Charleston area, I can definitely say over the years, they've definitely been creating some talent in their own way, and that's what I love about Justin when he talk about be yourself. Because Nana talk about that button, and he
Hey,
bother
yeah,
everybody, and he don't
yeah.
care what y'all say about me, because I'm gonna get that button. Y'all hear me?
Uh-huh. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Hey, listen though. The crazy thing about it is though, like I have an elementary basketball league. Like we've been doing basketball for so long, man. Like Nana came through my basketball league. Like,
Oh wow.
so I seen him when he was in fifth grade. Like I seen this. Like, so that's a beautiful thing. I like what he doing. I'm glad he having fun with it.
Absolutely.
And I know he gonna continue to, what I mean, grow with it. But we got one for you tomorrow. We
Thank
got
you.
one for you tomorrow.
Thank you.
You know?
You all, again, we had an opportunity to be tuned in with Dr. Justin Beaufort out of
Mhm,
Chucktown. And I thank
mhm,
you for sharing your story, your
mhm,
wisdom, and your
mhm,
heart to us tonight, because that truly makes a difference as we are on this journey. Oftentimes we are reminded that success isn't about becoming who you are, but
Mhm.
truly about being yourself. And I
Mhm.
thank you for sharing that tonight. I wish
Mhm.
you well on your continued journey. And if you ever need me, I'm just a phone call away. And so we look
Mhm.
forward to another successful weekend coming up. And y'all, next year, it'll be year 16. So it don't matter who comes to the table. Sometimes you have to prepare yourself to create your own. And 15 years strong,
Mhm.
he's done it. So I'm
And,
challenging you to support.
no, and listen, I ain't talking to Morris College when I say this. Like I talking to the same big wigs in Charleston, all of that. This year 15. Guess what? We got one sponsor this year, and he my homeboy.
Mm.
We got one sponsor this year. He my homeboy. We play everything. My homeboy. That's my one sponsor this year. And we still gonna have fun. Watch when we drop these edits though. You know what I mean? We still gonna have fun. And I ain't saying that we don't need y'all, but hey, the show don't stop just cause you know what I mean. You ain't tuning in. The show gonna go on regardless. And before we get out of here, I definitely want to shout you out because like you had seen me when it like, which I still is a knucklehead. Like, but hey, like you know what I mean. I think it's like people like yourself that can allow me to. I don't get these opportunities often unless I come in on somebody's podcast or something like that because I'm around the same people. They're not asking me something new or like or whatever. So I just appreciate that there are people like you who can say like, no, 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 no. I see them. No, like you know what I mean. Like and yeah, he ain't such a bad guy. Like you know what I mean. And I appreciate that, and I just like what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, and yeah, I appreciate you like even thinking that having the audacity to think that I was good enough for your platform, even though we do know each other like that. But I still thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And
Mhm.
again, we'll continue to be on this journey together and help support each other. And I wish you well again, and you all will continue to do the same for one another. Until next time, you all continue to tune in with Broadcasting Results with Rouse. Have a good night.